Premier Doug Ford gave a news conference today for the first time since the legislature resumed here at Queen's Park after a lengthy break. Now, I've told you before how the tone has changed around here. Well, it seems the Premier has changed as well. Once described as a brash, divisive politician, he seems to be trying to remake his image as a national unifier.
We saw what happened in the last election. I've never seen this country so divided, but we have to stay united.
Doug Ford is trying to take a leadership role to bring the premiers together. After a phone call with most of them on Friday, Ford offered to hold a meeting for all of them by Christmas in a bid to find common ground and present a united front to the federal government.
I reached out to Premier Kenney, Premier Legault. We ended up getting on the line, and I offered to host it here in Toronto.
The Premier's first year in office did not end well. After wasting political capital on dramas like trying to appoint his friend to the head of the OPP, Doug Ford plummeted in the polls. Then came the patronage scandal, and the Premier largely disappeared from sight. Now, 5 months later, he's re-emerged, positioning himself as a statesman by promoting unity, even getting a nod of approval from Mayor John Tory, who not so very long ago was in a very public war with the Premier over now cancelled retroactive cuts to municipal budgets.
I commend the Premier for the fact that he is taking the initiative to get people together to talk about this.
A lot has been said that there's a kinder, softer, gentler tone at Queen's Park, fewer standing ovations, and now you're talking about being a unifier. Is this a real strategy on your part? Are you giving yourself a political makeover?
I don't know about political. This is, Cynthia, you've known me for years. I don't think I've ever changed. It was funny, I go home and my youngest little daughter comes up to me and says, "Dad, you've changed. I've seen no change in you, Dad." So I hear you. I hear you. I think we've toned it down at Queen's Park, and we have to make sure we work together, we listen, and especially with the country, we got to unify this country. It's divisive right now, and just listening to everyone's concerns, as Mayor Tory said, listen to the people out west because they really have concerns. Listen to the people of Quebec.
It's a pivot, but one thing that's not changing is Ford's battle against the federal carbon tax, using the old strategy visited by many a premier. When in doubt, blame the feds.
I was elected on getting rid of the carbon tax, and again, Sean, making life more competitive, making businesses more competitive. We can't afford a carbon tax.
Now, Doug Ford has had a lot of pushback over austerity measures and accusations that they overinflated the deficit so that they could justify more cuts. Well, this Wednesday, his new finance minister, Rod Phillips, will be releasing the fall economic statement, and the deficit is predicted to be half of what the government originally claimed. That could give Ford more wriggle room to try and win back more voters.